Hey everyone, hopefully you guys watched my first video that I posted yesterday. So if you haven't, now's a good time to take a time out, press stop, and go watch that video. Kind of give you some thoughts and perspective as to why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And so I wanted to share with you kind of an exciting process and plan that I'm looking at implementing over the next couple weeks. All right, so here's my goal, right? I want us to honor and respect and be Christ followers and be Christ to others through our social distancing, but I also don't want us to be people that are intimacy deficient and aren't able to engage with other people. At the same time, we have an ability to really press in here. And if you were here on our California trip, I talked about having these two seats. We have a seat of gratitude where it says, hey man, everything that God gives me is good and awesome and an opportunity, or everything is a lack, right? I'm living in a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset where I don't have enough and I can look at it really bad, or I can go, man, God, you are so good to me, and this is really cool. And so my challenge for us in this time, however long we're isolated from the world and everything, is to look at it with that gratitude, is to be able to press in, right? I mentioned this in the last video, but so often we are just people bouncing around from thing to thing, and we ask each other, how are you doing? What's going on? We're like, well, I'm just so tired. Or I'm just so busy. If you go to Israel, right, maybe not right now, but if you go to Israel and other times, they have a Sabbath where one day a week they completely close down everything, and you're forced to slow down. And I view this time almost like as a forced Sabbath for us. We're a society that's been running on fumes and just adding and adding and adding without saying no and removing anything. And we're pretty much at our wits' ends and unable to continually connect to each other because all we do is focus on ourselves and the things that we have on our to-do list, right? If we're a teenager, man, we wake up, maybe we go do workouts, we go to school, we go to work, we go to Roots, we go home, we do homework, we do it all over again. It's just over and over and over, and we never have time. And so when I ask kids or people, hey, how are you doing with Jesus? What's going on right now with your relationship with the Lord? The thing that I often see people struggle with is they just don't have enough time. And I think that we can look at this and go, Lord, you are gifting us with time. You are gifting us with an ability to connect to our family, right? Now, parents, I'll address you for a second here. As teenagers get older, you view it as this is our family, this is our main group, and that's true. But there is a time where teenagers leave and their primary group is no longer the family, it is their cohort of friends. That is their what's called maybe their cluster. And so I want us to kind of both on these sides to say, okay, as a student, let me say, I'm going to press more into my other and my old cluster of my family and be around them more and love them more. But as parents, I want us to also understand what it would be like for you to be removed from your family. Because for a lot of these kids, being removed from their friends is like being removed from their family. It's being removed from their primary cluster. And so having grace and encouragement and saying, I want you to connect with them, and not just demanding that they give you their attention because now they're forced to, right? We need to be on each other's sides and teams here. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is, man, press into the Lord this time. And here's kind of my plan. Here's my thought with all of this stuff, right? Is this. I want us to have an ability to press into this, to walk in this tension well. And in the past video, I talked about how we focus so much on the physical, but there's a lot of mental aspect to this also. And so here's my proposal. Is for 3 weeks, and maybe it'll go longer, but we're going to just start for 3 weeks. For 3 weeks, I'm going to be sending out trainings and an ability for you all to connect in different avenues. We're going to focus on physical avenues. We're going to focus on mental and emotional avenues. We're going to focus on spiritual avenues. It's not every day there's going to be a Bible study. It's not every day there's going to be, a challenge for you to call one of your friends and have a conversation. But we're going to rotate through kind of those type of items. So that way, number one, you're keeping your sanity. You're trying not to be maybe bored. But number two, you're allowing for space to come in to be healthy and whole and to let God speak. Right? We know in Scripture that God speaks in a still and quiet voice, that he doesn't often speak in the loud chaos of what we've got going on in our life. And I would challenge us that we just don't want to replace the chaos for another type of chaos. We don't want to go from my schedule's full, I'm running around, to, well, now I'm just binge watching all my shows and on Netflix and doing a bunch of stuff at home and not giving myself space and time to think, to process, and to allow that voice, that quiet voice of God, to bubble up to the surface, and for us to attune ourselves into the nature and the tone of his voice and to go, that's my Father who's speaking. And I understand that, and I want more of that. That we would grow our appetite and our longing and really our inclination to even understand and hear him. So that's my thought in this time. Is I'm going to create a series in this process, and it's going to start tomorrow. And over the course of the week, there will be some things sent out intermittently. It won't be every day because I don't want to overwhelm us, but let's say 3-4 days a week, something like that. And if you do these things, and if you post online, social media, and if you keep kind of a record of it, I'm going to give you a big incentive. But in order to make sure that you're doing it, I'm going to have you guys tag Roots at BVCC in all of the stuff you do. So if you don't have social media, you might need to get social media. Let's say today's challenge is to go for a hike or walk with your dog by yourself. Then maybe take a picture of that or a video of that and tag Roots at BVCC, so I can be seeing these things and we can be encouraging each other that we're all doing it together and we're building community and a family through shared experience, even though we may not be next to each other, right? But here's the kicker. Here's what's beautiful about this, is over these course of the weeks, I'm going to offer you a financial incentive, all right? So if all of the things I talked about enough doesn't fire you up to do it, then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give 3 prizes out for this challenge, all right? So they're financially motivators, and here's how this works. There's a first, a second, and a third place prize. The third place prize is going to be $100, second is $250, and first is $500, okay? So we're going to give you this money, and this money is very specific. It's designed as a camp scholarship or another Roots type of fundraiser thing. So say, for example, you get the first place prize, you get $500 in, let's call it camp credit. You can come to camp with us to Glorieta for free, or if they, God forbid, have to postpone it, you will have that credit applied to whatever camp you want to use in the future, all right? Or if you're going with us on our Southeast Asia trip, hopefully we can make it to that as well, then you will be able to apply and deduct $500 from your camp cost. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that incentivizes us to keep in it. I'm going to be posting videos and comments and trying to keep us going along the way, so it's not just getting stuff, but you're going to see mediums come through in all sorts of ways. So sometimes it's just going to be maybe a text, and it's going to be a link to a Devo. Sometimes it's going to be a challenge. Sometimes it's going to be maybe a Roots Instagram post and just saying, hey, here's what we want you to do today. So you're going to need to be aware, but I'm sure that you guys have the time for it. But above all else, whether you're financially incentivized or not, my encouragement and challenge us is to stop and pause and be able to use this as a gift, to be able to reflect and see where God is at work, and to say, man, what a great opportunity to press in and to do the things and to give some attention and care to the aspects of my life that I've been neglecting. So praying for you guys, love you guys, looking forward to walking this journey with you. Take care.